I am Sharon Kiliza, a wife, a mother of 7, a gentle homemaker, a medical missionary who lives in rural KZN. My passion is to teach on health and healing and sharing my life experiences on godly parenting, homeschooling, cooking meals from scratch on a plant-based diet, growing organic, and also sharing on natural remedies and how you can use this to reverse chronic and lifestyle disease, or how you can actually change your lifestyle habits to be more healthier. If you are concerned about the health of your family and loved ones, then have no fear. You have come to the right place. Hello everybody and welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something very close to my heart because so many young people are actually experiencing this, and even adults. Statistics say that 1 out of 10 adults are experiencing depression, and 1 out of 5 young people are experiencing depression. And the statistics have skyrocketed since COVID and have significantly increased and are continuing to increase, especially with the increase in the availability of smartphones. They found that the statistics are continually increasing even more. In fact, what happened during COVID is that most learning platforms changed from just, being an ordinary face-to-face interaction to being online, and being online continuously on a smartphone with the different notifications coming in and the distractions and so forth. It's causing a lot of not only depression but anxiety amongst a lot of young people, and as a result this has just made the statistics to just skyrocket. And so today I thought it's important that we talk about this and talk about things that one can actually do to limit or reduce the likelihood of them getting depression, and if you already have depression, to be able to reverse it naturally, because it's been proven as well that only about 40% of people who are on depression medication are in remission. The rest, which is 60%, nothing ever changed, and often they get worse, and then it creates dependency. So if you are suffering from depression and wish for a way out, you need to listen to this podcast. If you know of a family member, a young person, it could be your child, it could be your sister's child, aunt's child, whoever, please forward this podcast link to them. Let them listen to it. It will really be of great benefit to them. I'm going to be sharing with you 9 habits that will help you fight depression. But how do you know if you are depressed? Because a lot of people, we all experience feeling down from time to time because of disappointments in life. Life here on earth is a Christian's winter, and we long for Christ to return so we can get into our summer perpetually and continually. But anyway, we're still here on earth. And being here on earth, it means we will be met with disappointments, shattered dreams, unfulfilled promises, and so much more. And often that causes sadness, and in other people, depression. Sometimes you may be down for a little while, sometimes a little longer than you should be. And so the big question is, how do you know if this is depression, if this is longer than just temporal or momentary upset, sadness, or disappointment? Well, here are some of the things that you need to look out for. If you experience 5 or more of the following symptoms on most days, and this lasts for about 2 weeks and even more, then it is considered depression. So I'm going to list them. The first one is you are experiencing sleeping problems. You sleep either too much or you sleep too little. I've met ones on both ends. I've met a lot of people who are suffering from depression who struggle with sleep, and those who just want to sleep all the time. So you could be either one of these. That's just symptom number 1. So remember, you need how many to be diagnosed with depression? You need 5 of these to be true about you every day for at least 2 weeks. So that's 14 days. Symptom number 2 is changes in appetite. Are you eating too much or are you eating too little? There's no balance. So if you have seen that your appetite has just suddenly become really big and you just don't get satisfied. All you want to do is eat. You know that saying, I eat when I'm upset, but it seems as if you're upset every day and you're upset every day for 2 weeks, then that might be a sign that you have depression. Others just don't eat. I've heard others who say we are lazy eaters. Others are lazy eaters for real, but others are just lazy eaters because they're experiencing what? Depression. Has this been persistent for 14 days or more? The third symptom is significantly low energy. People who are depressed tend not to have high energy levels to get things done. They struggle to just literally, they barely manage to make it out of bed, let alone accomplish anything. So are you struggling with energy levels that are low? And this has been persistent for the past 2 weeks. Number 4, are you depressed and irritable most of the time? Do you have a depressed and irritable mood most of the time? Number 5, excessive guilt. Do you feel guilty excessively? Guilty even about how you're feeling, guilty about the fact that you're sleeping too much or too little, or guilty. Are you just continuously feeling guilty and finding fault with yourself? That's another symptom of being depressed. So if you've marked 5 already, chances are you are depressed. The next one is agitation or severe anxiety, even panic attacks. So with other people, it's just anxiety and panic attacks, but it can be translated to them having depression. Are you experiencing any of this? Maybe one will ask, what are panic attacks like? How do you tell when someone is experiencing a panic attack? Well, here are symptoms of a panic attack. The person may start having extreme chest pain or discomfort around the chest. They might start sweating out of the blue and sweating profusely, experiencing some dizziness. They experience some nausea or abdominal distress. They experience chills where they get really cold and it's really not cold, or they experience heat, sensations when it's really not that hot. They have an accelerated heart rate suddenly, or they have a sensation of smoothing around their face, neck, and just that area. They are feeling dizzy, unsteady, or they are feeling very faint. They start trembling, and number 1, they start experiencing fear of losing control, or they feel like they're dying. So those are some of the symptoms of a panic attack. And if you experience this, chances are you are actually having depression as well. And then the last symptom of depression is thoughts of self-harm or suicide. I consulted with a woman when I was in Kimberley, and she was a pretty woman, by the way, very pretty, dressed well, looks amazing. When she walked in, I was like, whoa, I feel like I am letting down humanity. I just felt like I looked really dull. She just was too pretty, very pretty, dressed, very sharp. And as we were sitting there having a conversation, I then learned that she's experiencing extreme depression, that the only time she feels relief is if she indulges in self-cutting. So she cuts herself. And that was a big one for me. I knew that she was experiencing what? Depression. So depression has a very negative effect on our system, on our body. And it's not something that you should avoid or think that it will go away. You need to do something about it. But I know often people will go to the doctor. I'm not pro-medication. I'm not against getting diagnosed. Diagnosis is really good. But if you know that you don't have breaks or you don't have self-control, if the doctor says take this, you're going to take it, then I would advise that you do not. Just look at the symptoms. If you're experiencing 5 of these symptoms or more, and you've been experiencing them for 2 weeks or more, just assume you have depression and start following these 9 habits. And then you can alleviate the depression and you never need to see the doctor. Wouldn't that be amazing? Seeing a doctor does not mean, that you are better off. seeing doctor just is there seeing him. And it might actually put you in a worse off situation if you believe everything they tell you about the drug medication they give you. So if you know that you're not strong on that area, then rather not go to the doctor, but follow these 9 simple lifestyle habits, and let's watch the depression do what? Go back from where it came from. All right. So I want to start talking about these 9 habits. What's the first habit? One of the things that people who are depressed do not like is they don't want physical activity. They just want to sit and do nothing. They are hard to get started. They don't want to do house chores. They don't want to go to work. When they're at work, they don't want to do anything. All they just want to do is just rest. Physical activity has actually been found to be one of the things that aid one to alleviate depression, because exercising moderately for 30 minutes each and every day has been found. So maybe either you're doing aerobics or you're doing biking, whatever, has been found to reduce depression as well as what antidepressant would do. So if you are taking antidepressant and I'm just exercising for 30 minutes every day doing aerobics, it's as if I've taken the same amount of medication but with none of the side effects. Can you believe that? That's fascinating, hey? It says that we do not need to actually exercise intensely and do something very aggressive. And the best type of exercise that has been found to alleviate this even more, it's walking. Walking for an hour each and every day. They say that it releases endorphins, and endorphins are feel-good hormones, which then ultimately, these endorphins that are released, which are actually chemicals, so these chemicals is actually serotonin and what's this one? Norepinephrine. I sometimes struggle with pronouncing it. And so you get those 2 chemicals that are released, and that makes us happy. But the greatest benefit and the long-term benefit is when you walk, and you walk for an hour a day, that actually enables you to release what is called BDNF. And those are your brain-derived neurotrophic factors. Brain-derived neurotrophic factors have been found scientifically that they actually are able to help your brain change. It has to do with the neuroplasticity of the brain, and in a positive way. So just by walking, your brain changes in the positive way. So meaning that your depression is alleviated with none of the side effects of the antidepressant medication. So taking a walk, 30 minutes perhaps in the morning, 30 minutes in the late afternoon, would do you great benefit. It will be like you're on medication but unmedicated. Medicated or medication while unmedicated. That's very, very interesting, because one of the things that I just hate about the side effects of depression medication, it's what it does. Most of the people become zombies. They struggle with sleep in the long run, and now they have to be placed on sleeping medication as well. So it just has a whole lot of things that are just not beneficial to you at all. So exercise supports the nerve cell growth in the hippocampus. So it also improves the nerve cell connections, which will help relieve depression. Because the more connections there are in your brain, the more healthier your brain is. And what happens when you are depressed is that the connections are severed, and you get less and less connections. So you want to increase the connections, and when you exercise, this does just that. Also, the other positives about exercise is that they lower the risk of heart disease, of diabetes, of high blood pressure, of weight increase. So they help with weight control as well. So not only will you be benefiting by alleviating or relieving the depression, but you'll also get other side benefits as well by exercising. They've also found that when you lift weights, that is strength training, and I do that by just working in the garden. There is nothing as good as picking up a pick and hitting that ground, hitting it over and over again, and then taking a shovel and lifting up that dirt and throwing it away, and lifting it up and throwing it away. That's what I was busy doing today. I actually spent my whole morning this morning, from 7 in the morning until 2 o'clock this afternoon, like about 5 to 2 this afternoon in the garden. Very satisfying. We are actually currently fencing our garden, and I got beautiful compost that I'm going to put my seeds in and make seedlings. I also managed to get some mulch as well. So there's just so many things. By the time I left the garden, I felt satisfied. And then I had a really wonderful time chatting with the ladies in the cooking training, and it was so beneficial as we were debriefing about the cooking training that happened this month, and they were just sharing their gratitude and expressing how much they've learned. It was just an all-around satisfying day. You cannot have a day full of that much physical activity and be depressed. There's no room for that. There's no room for that. So what can you do to actually get started with physical activity? So firstly, find an activity that you enjoy. And if you haven't found an activity that you enjoy, let's start by walking. Set reasonable goals. If you can't exercise, or if you can't take a walk for 30 minutes, then break it down to 10 minutes and do it 2 to 3 times a day until you can do a full session of 30 minutes. Then at least you're doing something about it. Then do it with a friend. A friend can be an accountability partner, somebody who's going to come and pick you up at 6 o'clock, so that even if you don't feel like it, but because you're afraid of disappointing someone you'd already made an appointment with, they are able to drag you out. And even tell them, hey, buddy, I'm actually feeling I don't want to exercise, and I'm doing this so that I can help myself be healthy. So if you get there and I tell you I don't want to go, tell me you're not going anywhere and just insist, I'm going to wait here until you come out and we go exercise. Like, get your friends to be your accountability partner, to just really be there for you and help you. And also, think of exercise as a natural medicine for your body and mind. I just spoke about the benefits of exercising and what it does to the brain. And so it truly is medication without any of the side effects. So do that do that for yourself, and it would help. It would help greatly. All right, so I want to just now go back to the next step. Okay, maybe before I go back to the next step, I see here on my notes, I actually wrote some stuff so I don't forget mentioning all the important things. So here's some practical exercise tips that you can use. Have a regular aerobic exercise program. Oh yes, this is very important. So many people think that I just need to go out for a walk one day and I should feel amazing. If you already have been feeling these depression symptoms for 2 weeks or more, one walk will not cut it. You would need to do this walk, and people start experiencing relief from the depression symptoms after 2 weeks of walking consistently, regularly. So what does that mean? You're going to start walking, and you're going to tell yourself, I will not stop walking until day 15, and that's only when I'm going to start seeing some changes. And so you keep at it for a minimum of 15 days, and I guarantee you are going to start feeling better, and that you will be able to add credit to the fact that you've actually started exercising. So don't expect that you will feel amazing the first day you go out for a walk. All right. Secondly, ideally, depressed individuals should walk outdoors for 60 minutes for 6 to 7 days per week, and they should then be able to experience dramatic improvement in their mood within 2 weeks. So minimum is what? An hour of walking each and every day, so you can break it down to 2 30-minute sessions, and then make sure you do it outdoors. The worst thing you can do is go to a gym, because you're not even getting oxygen, you're not getting sunlight. So there are benefits of doing it outdoors, because you're also getting other doctors, natural doctors, like sunlight, and sunlight has been known to actually alleviate depression. Have you ever seen when it's a rainy day? Like right now, I'm sitting and through my window, I'm looking at the rain drizzle. Yes, we've got a rainy in KZN. It's it's July 27, August 27, imagine. July 27, and this is just one of the rains we've been having. We've been having rain for the past 3 weeks, and I know most of the people in most of the parts of the country are not having any rain. We are. That's KZN for you. And So I'm sitting, I'm watching the rain and there's no sun. But because I'm feeling good already, I've released my endorphins today. I'm okay. But for someone who's depressed, they can look at this weather and just go like, oh, this is so depressing. And so when you exercise outside and the sun, they've actually found, statistics have found that more people commit suicide during winter on Mondays. During winter because there's no sun, and on Mondays because a lot of people don't like their jobs. So sun is very important to alleviate and relieve depression. Don't do it in a gym. Do it out of doors. You'll also get a lot of beneficial, good oxygen. So other practical exercise tips. Eat an early light supper 3 hours before bedtime. Better yet, skip the evening meal and only eat 2 wholesome meals, morning and noon, and you'll be made better in terms of dealing with depression. All right, so let's come to the second habit. I think I'm going to break this into 2 sessions because I'm looking at my time and I've only done one habit, and so I'm going to finish off the other habits on the next podcast because I don't want to make this too long. So the second habit is restful, regular sleep. I cannot overemphasize the importance of sleeping because when we sleep, that's when our brains heal. And where is depression? Where's the seat of depression? It's in the mind. When we are continually sleep deprived, we are at a greater risk of being depressed and staying depressed. Like research studies show that individuals who are physically fit and who sleep more efficiently, individuals who are physically fit sleep more efficiently in comparison to those who do not exercise. So that's why we started with exercise. Exercise, and when you're tired, but the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. That's what the Bible says. So you will actually find that you sleep a lot better when you exercise. And when you sleep better, then you alleviate your symptoms of what? Of depressions. So often there are factors that interfere with your ability to have a good night's sleep. The first one is being exposed to blue lights, especially 2 hours before going to bed. People who are depressed, you'll find that they are addicts to their smartphone and they have to have this phone right next to them all the time. Even at night when they go to sleep, they want to sleep with the phone next to them. Now listen to me. When you go to bed, declare your bedroom a screen-free zone. Switch off your cell phone. Put it on flight mode. You're not a doctor, so that you'll be needed in an emergency. Put it on flight mode. Leave it in another room and go sleep in your bedroom. And you'll be able to have peaceful sleep. Make sure that the blue screens are switched off at least 2 hours before bedtime. And if possible, if you're already experiencing depression, find yourself a nice small speta mabaka. I say speta mabaka, that's in Sesotho. It simply means a phone that accomplishes the important things, like the basics. Like a phone is for what? For receiving and making calls. So get a phone that will receive and make calls so that people are able to get hold of you. But at the same time, you do not feel pushed or forced into using a smartphone. Because a smartphone is very detrimental to your brain when you're already experiencing depression. Okay, sorry about that. And so make sure that the other factors that should be out. Okay, so these blue lights actually interfere with your sleep patterns. I actually want to say this as well before I maybe go on and talk about that. You know, staying up late before going to bed is also another one that will trigger depression. So make sure early to bed, early to rise. But when you are exposed to artificial light before going to sleep, especially in the evenings, your eyes send a signal to your brain to say it's still during the day, so there's no need for me to actually sleep. And the production of melatonin is hampered, which this is the hormone that's involved in your ability to sleep well. So make sure that you also start creating an environment in your house that says we are ready to sleep. So dim down the lights. If you've got some down lights, dim them down. If you don't have down lights, switch off the lights and switch on buy candles and be romantic and switch on candlelight. That's the candlelight prepares the brain to sleep. It says it's dark now. and there's that little flicker of light that's telling me I need to switch it off so that I can actually go to sleep. So it's important that you create the right atmosphere. Another big factor that disrupts sleep is late evening meals. When you are actually eating and drinking at the same time, and you are eating late at night, you just aggravate the situation. So avoid having late heavy meals at night. They cause acid reflux and other heart problems. Eating a big breakfast, a medium lunch, and a small early dinner, we will shift most of our calories to the first half of the day. So this will lead to sound sleep. It will prevent weight gain, and it will improve blood sugar control. I apologize about that. I just keep getting interrupted. Having adequate sunlight during the day will also help to regulate our sleep and wake cycles and produce melatonin at night. So make sure that you do this. Then the third one is what we do here at home, and something that I teach on and I'm very passionate about. I even wrote a book on the subject, and that is a plant-based diet. Studies have proven over and over and over again that people on a plant-based diet are less likely to get depression. Which foods can fight? Which foods fight? Which foods can best improve your mental health? There's a lot of them: nuts, seeds. Foods that are high in B vitamins and so forth, and we're going to learn about that when we cover part 2 of the of this podcast, when we talk about the other 5 different habits. But being on a plant-based diet is a game changer, and it will help you to be more healthier. Number 4, deep breathing. Deep breathing is so vital to your having good, healthy brain. Deep breathing enables you to breathe in and out and stretch your diaphragm, sending oxygen to the brain. And when the brain is full of oxygen, it alleviates symptoms that have to do with depression. So make sure that you do deep breathing. There are exercises that you can actually do. If you're interested in learning this, please send us a message on our Abundant Living website. It's 011 +273 +273 194 11183, and you'll be able to get the right methods of how to do deep breathing and how you do it in such a way as to help your mental capacity. So I'm going to end our podcast here today so that we can actually finish it off tomorrow. I think I've covered a lot. We don't want to do information overload. If you are struggling with depression, so it's not only these 9 habits that can help. We actually have natural remedies that can help alleviate depression that have no side effects as compared to the medical remedies that you are going to get from the doctor. So if you are interested in the natural route and interested in the natural herbs that can alleviate depression, please pop us a message. We're going to leave the Abundant Living Wellness Center number on the description below, so you're able to get a hold of us. Send us a message and say, Abundant Living, hi, I'm struggling with A, B, and C, and we will be faithful enough to actually get back to you. Thank you so much for listening to the show. If you liked this, if you are going through menopause or perimenopause and you just can't seem to find comfort in your body anymore, or you are done with menopause but you still feel horrible, at least ever so often with the hot flashes, you have to try LWC Wild and Cream. LWC Wild and Cream is not just a cream for women going through menopause, but it also helps those suffering with painful irregular periods, fibroids, cysts, PMS, and all things reproductive. It has become a phenomenon. Women who have used it can't stop talking about it or telling other women about it. LWC, the company that makes the Wild and Cream, is dedicated to making women's life easier. That means using ingredients that are organic and come from natural herbs that will not have adverse effects proven to work for women. They make no compromises when it comes to quality, and it shows. LWC Wild and Cream contains herbal extracts called adaptogens. Now, here's the beauty about adaptogens. They help the body adjust to stressors like chaotic hormonal changes due to changes
caused by synthetic hormone-laden foods, cosmetics, clothing, and environmental factors we may have no control over. Any woman that has symptoms of a hormonal imbalance can take it, but it's perfect for those horrible menopause symptoms that put a woman's life on hold, like hot flashes, night sweats, racing thoughts, poor sleep, and low moods. ALWC Wild and Cream can help with all those things, and the biggest benefit, feeling like myself again. That's what most women mention over and over again in their reviews. For a limited time offer, you can get 20% off in your first order when you order and mention the Sharon Kaliza podcast in a message following your order. To order, get the ALWC WhatsApp business number on the description below. So if you are struggling with depression, please reach out to us and we will be able to help you. Not only do we help with the 9 habits that we're just sharing, this is just something that you can do for yourself if you've actually not been clinically diagnosed. But if your situation is so severe that you need external help, we are available to actually give that kind of help. We've got remedies, and also you can actually come through to the Lifestyle Center, though at the moment the Lifestyle Center is still under renos, but soon we will be opening, and you can come to the Lifestyle Center for a 10-day, 21-day depression program where you'll be able to reverse it using natural means, lifestyle habits, and many of the things that we've actually shared in this podcast. I know this podcast is not over yet, so with the next one, we will finish the rest of the habits that you need to inculcate or incorporate for you to be able to heal completely. I pray that the Lord blesses you and keeps you. And if you liked this podcast and you wish for more people to be helped by the information you've heard here, we would like for you to like this podcast, to comment on this podcast, to share it with others so that this information may be spread far and wide. I will see you next time.